Hello, good morning and happy building. Today we build my new TV station. Here I choose grassland blank because it's the best option if you just want to build something in the nature. Make sure the fly modus is on. You can click it either here or use the right thumbstick. Then what I usually do is I first build a second floor. So I choose here the 15 to 15 tile and just spread it all over the map. The reason for this is that it enables me later to build basements, tunnels, whatever I want. If I just build on the normal ground, it's not possible. I start my build with a road. You will find it on the structural parts and then you can just drop and drag it to the floor. If you stand on the road, you see it's very broad, and if you want to have it a bit more realistic, you probably want to make it smaller. So for this you keep your left index finger pushed while on the same time you scale it with the right index finger. If you want to make the road longer, you better copy it. For copying you use the right middle finger and then drop and drag. If it doesn't match perfectly like here, then you probably did not use the magnetic grid here, so you can turn on and off depending on how you need it. So now it's time to start with the actual construction. Use shapes if you want to make something really beautiful and unique. I usually start with a cube and then just put it there. This is going to be some kind of stairs at the entrance of my future TV station, so I just put it here. I make it white, and for stair is still a little bit too high, so I make it a little bit more flat, as you can see here. I change the surface into something like a stone. Yeah, that does look quite nice. For the next step, I just copy the whole thing and put it here on top like this. So you see it's not totally matching. So you need to make it smaller here and put on the magnetic snap so it's more exact. You take here the green line in the middle with the arrow to make it small, and you see it doesn't fit perfectly. So what we do, we try again. Still doesn't work. So sometimes it's because it's actually not on the same level, so you just need to go down, and you see now it matches perfectly. So I continue copying to the next level, and you see with the snap it's perfect. Then just unsnap, make this one, snap in again, put it on the floor, you see it matches, unsnap, put inside, and so on. If you want to be exact, you can actually put a triangle in front of it and see how well it does. You see here, it actually fits quite well, so you don't need to be more exact than that. And don't forget to save your map, especially in the beginning, because population 1 is not always super stable, so I call it Swiss TV Studio. Okay, Studio. Meanwhile, I've built a column here. You can see it consists of 5 pieces, like here, the circle, column, and I want to make a big front with columns. So in order to make them straight, I put here this red thing in front of it and make it with the magnetic snap in a way that it fits perfectly with what I want to do. Okay, maybe I put it a little bit more inside. Sometimes the snap doesn't work very well, so you just need to adjust in a way you want. You can still make it, copy it and move it later more exactly. Okay, So what I do now is I make maybe 7 or 8 columns. I just copy them, and it's actually quite convenient if you use this red thing, because it has a pattern, a repetitive pattern. So you can actually count here 2, 4, 6, 7. So after every 8 lines I put a new one, so that's going to be quite exact. If something looks weird, then just make sure that the columns or anything is really on the ground. From some perspectives you cannot see it very well. Okay, now it looks good. It does look very nice, right? So next step is to build a floor in my TV studio. So I choose here the floor 15 to 15 and drag and drop it. Make it a bit bigger. It doesn't need to be so exact in the beginning, because you always can adjust it later. Okay, the level is not suitable, so just put it up. It's very easy with the magnetic grid. And now I choose a surface. Choosing the surface is always a bit of a problem, because there are not enough textures. So, for example, I can choose this wood, but I don't think it looks good. This wood is not much better. Maybe the marble here? No, it actually also looks weird. I don't know what this is. And this stone is also kind of not suitable. This looks more like solar cells. You need to try whatever is available, but I think I go with a normal concretey gray like this. Now the other one. Yeah, I think that looks quite suitable. Okay, now we built the actual facade. So I just copy this and put it on top. It's maybe a bit too high, so I make it lower. As you can see, I chose here the wrong arrow, like the diagonal. That's always going to mess up in 2 dimensions. So better use here this arrow. A good thing to do is to check if you can actually pass through the windows without climbing. So you just turn off the fly modus and just jump over it. Okay, you see it works, so that's fine. Because I want to build a door here, I make the wall smaller in the entrance area. You can see here, like this. And then I copy it so that with a magnetic grid it's very easy. You see, totally match. Make it longer, use the horizontal arrow to keep the elevation ups. Yes. And then put away this. Okay, and then here you see until where the thing goes, and you just make here the entrance as big as you want it. I choose a very big entrance for this huge building. Now I copy the wall to build windows. Maybe a bit higher. Okay. So now I make one more layer above the windows. I do this so that it later matches better the windows. It's easier to adjust the windows. Now I add in the window frame. So for this I go to move and put this, I choose this window grid. Make sure that you have the magnetic grid on it so that you can spin it for 90 degrees in a very exact way. And we put it into the empty slot, and you see it's like flickering here. You should avoid flickering at all costs because it looks ugly and it may give problems to other users. Okay, so now let's find a good color. You can actually use the same color and then it totally doesn't look like a window frame, or you can choose a different surface, like maybe maybe this so glassy thing, but it doesn't look good, or some stones. Yeah, that's looks much better. So what I'm doing now is I'm just copying the frame and then just every second frame I use again and put over to here. The reason why I do this is like this I can make the distance between each window exact the same size. I think that looks much better in the end. Now I copy this marble parts into the empty place between the windows from the other side. It might be easier. You see, just copy and it should fit always perfectly. If you keep pressing the X button on which is the left thumb, and at the same time mark, that you can do multi-select. So we select here now the whole facade, every element, because we want to copy it to the other side of the house. Now we group, and you see you often forget to include some parts, so you just mark both again with X and do like a group on the second layer, second level. Then you just drop and drag it to the other side, and you can see it sometimes doesn't fit very well. That's because the wall below it is actually not really exact and it doesn't work very well, so you need to remove the magnetic grid. You see here on this side is correct. You need to remove the magnetic grid and then just make it by hand. Okay, it does look quite good, huh? Now you mark the whole facade and just copy it up, so like this is very quickly to build the second floor. When you move grouped items, it often doesn't fit exactly, so you can try a bit, but then you maybe need to do it without the magnetic grid and just do it as exactly as you can. It's a little bit of a figure, but usually you can get it quite alright. Okay, a little bit. Yeah, that looks alright. Okay. Still a bit. I think it maybe looks better if the column spreads over 2 floors. So I put here this thingy as a reference, and then I just put up the columns all to the same level. So make sure you use this arrow here, like the vertical arrow. Then it doesn't change anything of the proportions of the columns. Sometimes it doesn't match very well, so you just try to do as good as you can, or adjust this top reference thing. So now we do it for all the columns, one after another. Also on the other side. But I'm not so satisfied yet with the entrance, so I think I make here the entrance much bigger. Close the wall, and yeah, I try to put a logo and see if it looks good or not. Okay, it's a bit small. So if you take this green cube in the middle here, and then you can just make it bigger without changing the proportions. So if you use columns or this kind of squares, it's much easier to do like this. Okay, that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed it and join me again when I keep on building tomorrow or some days later. And remember to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this.